How's it going,
okay.
everyone? I'm with David Campbell here, who's going to do a masterclass in Yawgmoth in Historic. So I'll give it up to you to kind of explain the deck. I mean, I know a little bit about the deck, I guess, and the combo, but I guess for people who don't know what's going on exactly in this deck, be good to hear it from the expert.
Expert and masterclass are both very generous terms.
Well, you are ranked like 130 or something,
right?
Right?
Now,
yeah. So I mean, we'll say you're an expert in this deck.
Decent. So for those of you who don't know, the basic combo is either 2 Young Wolves and a Blood Artist effect and a Yawgmoth. You use Yawgmoth to put a -1/-1 counter on a Young Wolf that already has a +1/+1 counter, and those cancel each other out. And you can do that pseudo infinitely. Because a Yawgmoth requires you to draw a card, you can only do it as much as your deck size is. So that's the reason why, like, sometimes having 2 Blood Artist effects is important, is because against decks like Mill, you can get milled out so that you only have 13 cards left in your library, and trying to finish them off by dealing 1 point of damage at a time can be rough. You also have the combo of Young Wolf plus Vizier and Yawgmoth, or 2 Young Wolves. 2 Young Wolves plus Vizier plus Yawgmoth can make infinite, again, regarding the size of your deck, number of snake tokens that have Death Touch. So that's a way you can untap and kill your opponent. That does require you to untap, so that can be a little dicey sometimes. And then the deck is mostly just some ramp. You have life gain with the Young Wolf package to help draw your cards and help find your missing combo pieces. And then you have Chord of Calling, Eldritch Evolution, and this card that has recently come out, a 1 of Lively Dirge, which can tutor up a Yawgmoth for 5 mana or bring back 2 combo pieces like a Hapatra and a Blood Artist, or 2 Young Wolves, or whatever else you need. And then questions?
I was gonna say, is the 2 copies of One Ring and Shieldred, is this just kind of like a plan B kind of thing? If
So sometimes you need 1 extra turn to get that 1 extra mana on the battlefield so that you can combo off. And the ring is really good at buying you that 1 turn. It is also like the One Ring, so it is really good at just drawing you a bunch of cards, especially in those grindy games. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's here. Some people will play over this Elven Chorus. For those of you who don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is off the top of my head.
Come on. Go down.
We broke it.
Okay. Elven Chorus. So you can look at the top part of your library at any time. You can cast creature spells off of the top of your library. And creatures you control have tapped at any mana. The problem I found with this card is that in a lot of post-board games, you're bringing in cards like Fatal Push and Thoughtseize, and other non-creature spells. And so that reduces the creature count. So, like, including the lands and all the spells, like, you're at about 50% chance to hit a creature or land or spell. So it's less consistent, and sometimes you just need more action, and Ring is really good at just giving you more cards to find more action.
Okay, got it. What would you say is like your best and worst matchups with this deck?
So my best matchups is humans, because of this text on Yawgmoth that says protection from humans, which is kind of insane. Like, I don't know why he says that on there. And the fact that he just, like, is really good at wiping boards, so creature strategies are typically pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
You're also pretty good at game against mono green devotion. My worst matchups are wizards and blue-white control, and I've tailored the sideboard to include Shaper Sanctuary and a 1 of Witch's Vengeance. And this is almost exclusively because of wizards. Like I struggled with that matchup so much, and it's such a popular deck that I couldn't justify playing this deck if I didn't have a good plan. And I finally got the sideboard built for wizards myself and was playing it. And these are some of the cards that were giving me a lot of trouble. So I was like, well, I am these colors and can play these cards. So
Yeah, it seems pretty good against a wizard's deck. Just
yeah,
kill them all.
kill them all. There's not a single wizard that has more than 3 toughness that is being played right now. So that is a one-sided wrath, and those are really great. And Shaper Sanctuary comes down early and just makes all their spot removal really awkward. Because it's like, yeah, I can kill your goose, but then you draw a card, and the whole point of killing your goose is to like slow you down. But if I'm giving you cards on top of it, like, what is the point?
Yeah.
And so it kind of just goes into this snowball effect. So Agatha's Soul Cauldron is pretty good, except against wizards because Flame of Anora is a stupidly cracked card. For those of you who don't know, Flame of Anora can destroy an artifact on top of drawing 2 cards.
So that card, Soul Cauldron usually comes out.
Yes. Soul Cauldron comes out against wizards because of this right here. They can kill your Yawgmoth and destroy Soul Cauldron, or they can draw 2 cards, and it's just... And they're playing 4 of that because it's just such insane value. But it does allow you to put Yawgmoth's ability on other creatures, so you don't have to rely on Yawgmoth sticking around. You can, in fact, have just 2 Young Wolves on the battlefield and a Blood Artist effect, and they'll keep trading which one has the +1/+1 counter. And Agatha's Soul Cauldron just says any creature that has a +1/+1 counter has the ability. So it'll just keep trading. And I found that out actually in the Mire because I was like, oh, well, if I kill your creature, you can't sack it. And it's like, no, I can sack it and target myself. And then it's just this weird loop. So rounding out, we have Rutstein, which is just another pseudo ramp card that gets back one of your combo pieces generally, or some disruption. A lot of time it's just gotten me back a Deep-Cavern Bat, which is your other form of disruption in the deck. Just making sure the way is clear so you can combo off, as well as giving you a body that has lifelink is not completely irrelevant. And then Haywire Mite just for those pesky artifacts and enchantments.
And that's something you can kind of keep looping with the Soul Cauldron too, right? It's the
Haywire Mite. Yeah, there's the deck in Historic, which is Retrofitter's Foundry or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a 1 mana artifact that sacks Thopters to make 4/4s. And this on a loop with Soul Cauldron is just insane value. Where you're like, I'll play my Khalni Garden and give my plant token a +1/+1 counter, and then sack it to destroy your best artifact on the table. And then you just grind them out. That's another fairly good matchup where if they don't get like a very aggressive quick start, you can typically grind them out.
Sweet. Well, so I'm excited to see some games.
Yeah, over the sideboard
plan too.
Scavenging Ooze is another card that goes on Soul Cauldron. It's just a generally good card against decks that have their graveyard. And Skyfisher Spider is just a general catch-all. Just destroying any non-land permanent is a very powerful effect. And then, we've got Sorcerous Spyglass, which some would play a Phyrexian Revoker in here because it's tutorable. But I have found the ability to dodge creature removal with your disruption is pretty powerful. And the looking at their hand is super relevant sometimes, especially when you're playing against decks that have counter spells, seeing if the way is clear. I could see adding a 3rd Delighted Halfling if blue-white control is very popular. And, there's some other oddities that you could change in and out. But let's go ahead and hop into some games. And feel free to ask me any questions. I'll give you the best answer that I have. For a while there, I was playing Abzan because Rope Line Attendant comes in, gives creature cards in your hand. When it comes into play, put a 1/1 citizen token into play. And so you just like explode really quickly. But I found a lot of games to just, when you get into top deck mode, your top decks are a lot worse.
So do you think you mostly play against wizards? Like that's still the most like popular deck and it's what everybody's playing?
Historic is such a broad format that even though Wizards is by far the most popular deck, I still only play it against it like maybe 2 or 3 times a day out of, like 6 or 7 matches. So it's like constant enough that I need to have a plan for it, but like not so much that I'm like, okay, well, they're almost assuredly playing Wizards. Okay, here's another Wizards deck. So if you're new to the deck, you should definitely have a deck tracker. I have the deck memorized, so that's not really an issue for me. And I've only had access to the deck tracker on my computer.
So I mean, like this hand, you think this is a good enough hand to keep?
Absolutely. So
Got
you
some
have
ramp, got blood artist.
you have multiple combo pieces. You have ramp, you have interaction, and you have a payoff. This is just about anything, just about the best hand you could ask for.
It's except having Yawgmoth in there too. Maybe
Yeah.
it's on top. It's just chilling right on top.
And actually, you typically don't want Yawgmoth in hand. You want Chord of Calling because it's generally cheaper to play a Chord of Calling in a deck like this than it is to play Yawgmoth himself. Because if you use Goose early, it doesn't tap for mana, but it still taps for Chord of Calling.
So is that a Vista they played or a Steam Vents? I can't.
That is a Vista.
Okay.
Prismatic Vista, which is something I'm playing in this deck as well. And I've discovered, like this deck kind of floods out sometimes. Like you're playing 22 lands and 6 mana dorks. So you have a lot of mana sources, almost 30. And Prismatic Vista allows you to thin your deck of some of those mana sources. So deciding whether or not you want to play this on green or play this out early is kind of one of those tough decisions. Because we already have this, and I don't think we're going to be using it, I'll go ahead and play this on green. And I'm going to see what's going on. I don't face many Bant decks, so I have no idea. Oh, they're on the defender thing. Ooh.
Are they going to try to make like their toughness as their power? Is that
so? This chaplain here makes a 1/1 white bird token for each creature with defender you control, and then when another defender enters the battlefield, it makes another 1/1 bird token.
all right? Well, 1/1s are good
so
for
I
you,
think
right?
that takes the march. No, I can kill a bunch of 1/1s in this deck. I think I take the march because I'd rather they can't cast anything right now, and I'd rather them spend their whole turn answering this than like them having the ability to instant speed play a march. All right, so they went and got a Vista with this Dorfus right here. So this can come down next turn. Not that big of a deal.
I mean, now, like you're mostly looking for the Chord of Calling just to.
Yeah, Chord of Calling, Yawgmoth. I would need the 4th land for Yawgmoth, obviously, but this is my 3rd green pip for Chord of Calling. The difference between Cutthroat and Blood Artist is Cutthroat can kill through Leyline of Sanctity effects, the One Ring, whereas Blood Artist kills with each creature dying. So when you're pegging off their creatures, it deals damage as well. And because this one is the more expendable one, I'm going to play this out because of the Skyclave.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, they're most likely to take the bat, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. And then
they didn't get another white. They had the Vista. Okay,
yeah, they had the Vista.
Oh,
Oh
well.
wow. Just ignoring. Wow,
Maybe
that's
they
gotta be
drew
really
another white source then? That
okay. This is annoying, not hitting my 4th land drop and them killing my mana dork. But I mean, nothing else to do but just play out your cards. And I have no really good attacks, so Chord of Calling is lethal here. What is this? Whenever a creature with Defender enters, draw a card. Each creature deals damage. Okay. Yeah, obviously we're not blocking. Okay. Okay. So Shieldred or the One Ring, they are drawing cards, and we're at a pretty high life total. And they didn't have their second white, and for some reason they just didn't get it, which is kind of crazy to me.
yeah, that was kind of a weird play.
So I think we shove Shieldred here because this can turn into a thing where we block and they lose life off the Blood Artist effects, and then we just like kind of cheese them out. Okay, and they tap their white to draw the card. Okay, yeah. That was interesting.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we take those. All their creatures are 4 or less. Let's see, view battlefield. Human, plant, dragon. So I don't think Witch's Vengeance comes in here, although it could be good against the bird tokens. March. Spider comes in, and I think that's it. I don't think this is a ring matchup, because if we set up Yawgmoth plus any form of life gain and Hapatra, we just nuke their board and they can't win.
When you take out the ring, do you normally take out Shieldred along with it, or you think that could stay in?
Yeah, it's not a this always comes out if this goes out as well. So I look at Shieldred and I go, is the life gain relevant? And they're not really putting me on much of a clock. And like I said, if we just set up our combo of Hapatra plus Yawgmoth and any dork, well, we get to keep their board pretty nuked. So I will cut Shieldred here. I do wonder what they're bringing in. Their life gain, their removal was mostly exile based, so I think I'll cut the Soul Cauldrons here, and that puts us at 60. Yeah, I don't hate that.
I mean, this deck, you could would you maybe consider it the opponent's deck? That is like maybe kind of tier 2, maybe even tier 3, like a wall deck. I mean,
yeah, it's there's a reason they're still in Diamond with this, and this is no offense to people who are stuck in Diamond, but you're not going to get out of Diamond playing decks like the one they are playing.
Yeah.
So we got removal, we've got combo pieces, and some sort of ramp. So this is definitely a keep. Sequencing whether or not we want to hold up Boseiju. Yeah, we're just gonna lead off on the halfling. Except against decks where they have a lot of removal, you almost always lead on your mana dork versus a Yawgmoth effect.
Well, there's Chord of Calling, so that's nice.
Yeah, and so the way Chord works is creatures on the battlefield add mana, and so turning your treasure into a creature generates you more mana in the long run for Chord of Calling, if that makes sense. So, like if I untap and I just have these two, it's 5, 6. But if I play this then there's a world where I draw a second Chord of Calling, and having the extra creature on the battlefield is pretty relevant.
Skyclave.
Yeah, that's annoying, but we immediately redraw, so...
All right.
So I'm trying to decide whether or not I deploy Rutstein here. Just getting it out for Chord of Calling. Because if we play Rutstein and Yawgmoth, next turn we untap, we can Chord of Calling for Yawgmoth guaranteed, assuming all of our creatures are still on the table. And the other option is just hold up Fatal Push, which killing their 2/2 to get back a 1/1 is not really a great play. It is a little unfortunate we're not getting value off this. So I'm actually going to attack and hope they block. Because Innkeeper is mana neutral when it comes to Chord. And it actually generates mana if there's a Rutstein on board, because it only costs 1, but it taps for 1 and generates a treasure. Oh. That was a good reason to hold up Fatal Push. I did not see Soul Herder in the last game.
What does that do? Just blink it?
Yeah, it blinks it. But they give us back a creature, so we still have Chord for Yawgmoth. So
another Chord?
We do end up losing most of our board. So I think we'll focus on killing the Skyclave. Because this essentially only costs us 1 creature, and we're doing this main phase because we haven't hit our land drop.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if do you need to wait until the what is that card called? Soul Drifter?
Oh, till the Soul Herder targets?
Soul Herder, yeah. Yeah.
Because I can still kill it with the 3 creatures that I have left over, I don't think I need to wait.
Okay.
The question is, do I kill it now? My guess is they probably have another Skyclave. And if I draw land and I'm able to keep Rutstein out, I'm able to get this Deep-Cavern Bat. So I think I'm going to start by sacrificing this token here. Man, not seeing a 4th land in 15 cards is pretty crazy. All right, there we go. And this is going to clear the way. Okay, and they just concede.
You can't see my hand. I can see.
All right, and we are now at 108.
All right, well, maybe another win. You'll, be in the double digits.
That's the hope. My luck, I'm going to get like 6 points and be stuck at like 102. I'm surprised I got so many points off a diamond player, but it's probably because I've been streaking pretty hard. Not like running around naked, but like winning streaking.
Important distinction.
Not out here committing crimes. No public nudity for me. You got to subscribe to my OnlyFans for that.
Uh-oh. What are they, 13 something?
13, 18.
All right, I'm expecting a good match.
So anyone not in the hundreds, I can see playing Jank, but I've also seen like Diamond players playing Mono Green Devotion. So
Nothing's worse when you're like, 100 something, and then you're playing like a 60%er, and you're like, you lose, but just like, please concede.
Yeah. There was one for last season. It was like the last day, and I got super pared down, and like the person had me dead, and I was just like, good game, just like spamming them with good game, hoping they'd like have mercy on me and concede.
Did they?
Of course, they did not.
No mercy. You got to earn it.
So this hand is a little rough. We're heavy on payoffs, and we have no ramp. And I just really hate to mulligan. Like, I often don't mulligan when I should, but I do think I have to mulligan this hand. Yikes.
Punished.
Yikes. Well, we have the lands to cast our spells, but... Oh. And we're not going to mulligan it, obviously, but I almost always mulligan 5-land hands on 7, especially when they have mana dorks, because like I just always flood out after that. So I think we put Forest on bottom because we're gonna get it with our Vista.
And to give you some more street cred with Yawgmoth is you've gone back to back, and I guess now working on a third season in a row, right? Hitting top 250 with this deck.
This will be my 3rd season in a row top 250 with Yawgmoth.
I mean, that's pretty solid.
And I've only been back since the end of February. So essentially, every full season that I've been here, I've qualified with Yawgmoth. Xander's Lounge is scary. Not going to lie.
Why is that?
Typically means a control deck. They just Legions ended my freaking bird, which I think is a little ambitious. Grixis doesn't have much exile removal, so they probably should have saved that for my Yawgmoth. And anyone familiar with the format who sees Forest into Goose should automatically be thinking Yawgmoth. The only other type of deck that would play that is like a Cat Oven style deck, and those decks have faded out. Fable. Wow, we have the answer.
I respect the Fable play right into the Haywire Mite.
I mean, you got to do it, and you're still left with the Shaman, which is still a solid card. So I don't hate it. We kind of want a 5th mana because Ring doesn't work without 5 mana the same turn. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and play the Pathway. And it really just doesn't matter what I play it on. Our basic count is 3 forests and 2 swamps. And we only run 3 vistas. Which has been a nice upgrade over the Abzan Yawgmoth, because Field of Ruin has kind of like seen some resurgence, especially with the 3/3 reach that can put lands into play when you commit a crime. And the 3 killer decks only run 1 basic, so okay.
Just curious, is there any reason to hold on to the food tokens?
So game 1, not really. I could draw another goose, but other than that, I also just don't see the point in cracking it right now. So
yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Guess there's another goose. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, the upside of using Goose twice is slightly higher than gaining 3 when I'm at 20 already. So we are going to get a forest with this one just so we have triple green for any Chord of Callings.
So now you just have to decide maybe what you want to get countered.
Yeah. And it's like if I spend my turn playing a Delighted Halfling, they almost for surely just let it resolve and kill it. Because we have Lively Dirge and we could get Shieldred back, I think leaning on Shieldred is the correct line.
Shieldred's definitely like that card you have to answer or you just die.
Yeah. And so, like, they had to have a counter spell or some sort of removal spell. And the fact that they countered it means that they're kind of weak to removal or kind of weak on the removal side. Because, like, if you had the ability to just fatal push it, because they had the treasure token, they had Revolt, that would be the better play. Because then they could have drawn 2 cards with their charm.
And now, like, if you play Ring and then all they have is removal spells left, they're like, well, I wish I had that counter spell for for that.
But their signal was that they don't have removal, they have counters. So because of that, I think I'm going to lead on Yawgmoth here. And this will show us even more, like, do they have removal or do they have counters?
Yeah, it would be really odd if well, maybe they don't have either if they left it, right?
Well, they played Otawara. That's kind of interesting.
Gracious.
And they're leaving up Archmage's Charm. That's also interesting. I mean, I'm 100% blocking given the chance. Because, like, they have treasure for revolts, so... They could have some sort of shock or minus effect, but...
And it kind of looks like their turn just ended so quickly. It's like they have no other plays.
Bay of Wishes. Wow. Interesting. So they could have tutored and they chose not to. So I'm going to lead on Bat here, just try and get some information. I expect something to die. And then we can follow up with Halfling and have an uncounterable ring. They have infinite mana, though. This Snapcaster. Yes. Archmage's Charm. Yes.
I mean, that's not terrible for you, right?
I'm sorry?
That's not terrible for you, right?
No, like the whole point was to get a card out of their hand. I wanted more information.
Oh, well, I guess that sucks, right?
Flame of Anora. That is fucking awful. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, Snap Charm didn't seem that bad, but then...
But we still get the card out of their hand with Deep-Cavern Bat. They don't have the mana to flash this back. That's crazy. Wow. And then
I guess it would have been nice to get Crucius off the battlefield, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Crucius is pretty scary. Just because it is good card filtration and it ramps, but we have Lively Dirge. Even if they like Hive.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna just attack with the Hive and exile
and probably
something.
Eat the Yawgmoth would be my guess. Oh wow! I mean, obviously, I'm not blogging.
Why get rid of the Haywire Mite, though? What do they
Yeah,
have?
I have no idea.
Huh.
Interesting. Interesting. They have Counterspell up. They have Flame of Anor up. So I think I'd go to combat and try and bait any sort of removal out. I doubt it will get that removal, but because now we're in a spot where we can One Ring plus draw a card, or we can Yawgmoth and get back Yawgmoth and sweep the board. So what do you think I should play around here? Counterspell or...
I mean, I don't know. Because the Yawgmoth, yeah, I don't know. Getting that back seems like it would be better, but feels like you're walking into a counter spell.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if it's ever necessary, but I always try and tap Halfling for a colored mana whenever I'm casting my legendary spells on the off chance that Arena just doesn't do it for me. And we hit our land drop, so we get to double spell this turn, so pretty rewarded.
I've been screwed by auto tappers so many times.
So many times.
And I never learned my lesson too.
Oh wow, what a combo. Ring protects you from Llanowar Wastes. I am just learning about this.
Yeah, I never had that come up before. That's crazy.
This is the first time you're seeing it live. First time it's ever come up for me. All right, Wishboard, what do you got? Luckily, they can't get a Traxa.
Well, maybe they try to get something to deal
with. Oh,
yeah, deal with the ring.
Oh, it's not Arena. I have to use my mouse. Or not on the iPad. I have to use my mouse. Thoughtseize. Well, I mean, I would Thoughtseize if I were them.
They didn't Thoughtseize you.
Oh, I have protection. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chord's good, right?
Chord is good. In general, I do need to get Narset off the table, though. I just don't have a way of doing it. So if I draw another Yawgmoth plus a land...
But you won't be able to draw because of Narset.
Oh, shit. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's send it all at Narset and see what they do. I imagine Snapcaster Mage blocks Delighted Halfling, but after that... Oh, and they have a removal spell here? That's gross. They're going to block with their Crucius. Okay, deal. Is there anything in my deck that I'd want to Chord for? Maybe a Deep-Cavern Bat? Yeah. Let's just go to damage.
Well, I'm pretty surprised they block with the Crucius.
Me too.
I mean, maybe they have another one in their hand, but I don't know. It seems crazy.
So let's go ahead and Chord for 2. And get the bats. Nicol Bolas. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
they did have another one in their hands. I guess that
Yeah.
explains it.
Yeah, we definitely take the bolus, though. The worst thing for us would them actually be casting there. Yeah. Because now we can't swing into the Narset. God, Narset is so good against me. Mm. So what I could do, it kind of seems like a spew though, is get Yawgmoth back and sack the Yawgmoth to take away this power so I can attack Narset over 2 turns. That feels kind of spewy to me. So I think what I'm going to do is get back Shieldred. And just kind of like, hey, you've got to answer this.
Did they draw a counter? Nope.
No, I think they're just looking at what I could get back.
I guess you could still draw a card on their turn with the ring, right?
Yeah, but I'd be putting a second counter to draw 1 card.
Yeah.
So it's kind of rough.
Tough times.
Yeah. This is why when I saw Xander's Lounge, I was like, oh god. Like,
The Crucius has done a lot of work in this match.
yeah, being able to filter their draws has been pretty huge. Oh my god. What's the wizard here? This is a wizard? Why is it a wizard? Ugh. Okay, well, hindsight being what it is, I should have gotten Yawgmoth, but because then I could have at least attacked into the Fae of Wishes, but this is this is rock and a hard spot. This Narset is doing so much work, and I don't even know if they realize it or not. Yeah, that's probably game, honestly. Well, if I somehow manage to piece together Dude, it's crazy. People out here be playing 5-mana planeswalkers that aren't scary. Like, Grixis is not a common deck.
Almost seems like they built this just for you.
I don't think I can block here. I mean, I'm pretty sure this game is lost either way. But Takenuma. What does this do? Exiles a card from their hand or destroys a permanent they control. Well, that's a good reason to leave a food token around, I guess. Yeah. All right. If they have anything else, I'll probably just concede.
Well, I mean, they're getting that Crucius trigger every turn, so I'm sure they
Yeah.
got something good.
Yeah, the fact that they can discard lands to this is pretty insane. I feel like they should say non-land, but there's some pretty insane 3-drops in Historic. The one that flashes back cards and then like progressively flashes them back for greater and can get creatures and doesn't exile these cards or make copies of them and just does it for 0 mana is pretty insane to me.
It's the red or green one. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the
I
red
forget
green
the name of that too.
It sees a lot of play in Timeless too.
It's all alchemy cards.
Star Soul or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Come on, opponent. There's the Chord of Calling I needed. Yeah, I don't know how I get a blocker. So I need a creature to set off. I'm pretty sure I'm just dead here, but we'll play it out for the viewers. Oh, that actually kills me. Oops.
Yeah, I was gonna say now you're definitely dead.
So that is kind of what we needed. So if we had hit any other creature, we could have nuked their board, gaining a life in the process. We were just such a low life total. This is a matchup where Shaper Sanctuary is going to shine because Grixis has no answer to enchantments. I will bring in Scavenging Ooze, even though that was kind of a misclick.
I was going to say, did you mean to put that in
there? Because they are a Snapcaster deck, and it's also just a great late game threat. I do think I want Thoughtseize, Pylon, and the Spyglass. This is a Flame of Anor deck, so I will be cutting my Cauldrons, which is unfortunate because Cauldron's really good against decks that are removing your creatures. But the fact that they're incentivized to play artifact removal kind of hoses that strategy. I generally cut 2 Innkeepers in grindy matchups. You want one just as a it's really good early for Chord, but outside of that, not so great. Against decks that have counter spells, I always cut Evolution because sacking is part of the cost.
Yeah, it's like a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Putting yourself in positions to get 2-for-1 is not great. Against these grindier matchups, I cut some number of Mana Dorks. Because they have counter spells, I'll keep the Halflings in. And then we've got to find at least one more cut. I think it's Blood Artist. And I don't mind going to 61. You do have a lot of mana sources with your 4 dorks and 22 lands. And these games are long, grindier, so having extra spells in your deck is my way of just justifying a bad decision.
Can Yawgmoth win on turn 3? Is there a turn 3 win? Or?
Turn 3 is not. Yeah, it's not. If your opponent has played some number of creatures, it is technically possible to win on turn 3. Because Halfling you go Halfling into Hapatra Yawgmoth, and assuming they've played some number of creatures, the first time you sack Yawgmoth, you put a counter on their creature, gives you a snake, and then you sack that snake, and it takes off the counter, and so you can potentially get enough to Chord of Calling, but typically you're not winning on turn 3. You're more like a turn 4 deck. This hand is fine. Nothing to write home about, but
it could get there.
It will do things and stuff. I kind of want to pay Pathway on black, so I think I'm going to lead on Llanowar Wastes just to get the Halfling out. Getting under decks like this is pretty important, but this is going to eat a Fatal Push. No surprise. I'm not going to hold my Haywire Mite. Just with Chord of Calling, you just want to get your threats on the board.
Yeah, and Khalni Garden is a pretty nice ramp here for the Chord.
The fact that my land is a 2-for-1 is pretty cool.
Well, we played a tap land. I feel like you can do anything now.
I am afraid of a sweeper here, but there's also just nothing I can do about it. That's not entirely true. I could go get a bat in their draw step. Yeah. So in these matchups, you're not so much looking to combo. You're looking to play a value game. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Quick with the Fatal Push.
Lightning fast with the push. Jesus. Bro. So we can't Chord for a bat. They must be stream sniping, even though this isn't live. Vomit noises. Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, we don't want to Chord for another one, which is a play I was considering doing if they didn't have exactly Legion's End. So.
All right. Well, 2 Fatal Pushes and a Legion's End's pretty good hand for the opponent there.
Yeah, mono removal. I mean, we just gotta go with Yawgmoth. It's the most efficient play. I was kind of worried of a Stern Scolding there, but there's just nothing I could do about it. And if they have that, it's just like, okay. I would play faster if I wasn't on the computer. I apologize, guys.
Unacceptable.
Look, I don't have a mouse for my laptop anymore, so I have to like.
You're on the trackpad right now.
Yeah, the trackpad.
That's pain.
The trackpad.
Yeah, opponents kind of had it all here.
Yeah.
At least they don't.
Hey,
there's
Shaper Sanctuary.
Right on time.
Okay. Well, we're definitely leading on that. We're definitely playing Hapatra. Question is, do we play the Boseiju? They didn't show me, outside of Fable, there's not a lot of enchantments I want to kill, and I really don't want to give them a land for Fable. Oh, wow. They just don't care. They said, have your card. I don't give a fuck.
Yawgmoth. Opponents on mono removal spells, I think.
Dude. And it's very rough for a deck that is just trying to put cards together.
I was waiting for Crucius or some big planeswalker there.
All right. So I don't think playing Yawgmoth onto it is a human though, so it will save us some damage onto an empty board. So what I think I'm going to do is going to set a stop on their draw step and Chord for a Bat. Okay, hide this. Help! I don't want to see my opponents. Oh my god. How do I hide this thing? Bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. It just gets bigger. It just gets bigger.
Holy shit. Are you able to just like disable the app completely or something? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh my god. Why is it showing me? Okay. Can I type in 2?
Maybe use the arrows? Can it will let you go over? I don't know. No.
Oh my god. Yo, this is okay. Dude, come on.
Yeah, just try to turn off the overlay if it's possible. You should just be able to
Alt U.
change the maximum height there or something. Deck height. Is that their deck height?
Player deck. Dude, this is such. Oh my god. Oh, stupid overlay.
You're being punished.
So punished.
Yeah, it's weird you have it toggled off for the opponent, but it's still there.
MTG assistant. X out of this.
Okay.
Okay.
And all they got to do is a Nick a Bolus, no big deal. So do you still go bad here now?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, why do I have to resolve the spell? Come on.
Oh, because I think it's just holding on the instep. I don't know.
Okay, second Yawgmoth. Whittle Bolas down. Yeah, I definitely would have taken a Bolas had that option been presented to me.
Well, now if you win the game, it's going to be that much sweeter.
Okay, so we just let that happen because we have backup Yawgmoth. And that goes to 1. We hope they can't answer the bat for 1 turn. Yeah, they're trying. They're digging.
I'll be surprised if they can't find an answer, but again,
Yeah,
they did play like 10 removal spells already, so. Oh, maybe not.
Why would you tap my Llanowar Wastes? It's all right. That's all right. Okay. Wow, we get to get rid of Bolas. That's huge. Maybe. Hold. Hold. I don't know why you would let me resolve Yawgmoth.
Fatal push on Yawg.
Resolve. Okay. So this screams they have another removal spell. So, like, if I knew for a fact they had another removal spell, I would sack the bat to kill the Crucius, but I just can't take that chance with the Bolus on the table. I just have to hope.
Wow. Okay. They
All
probably
right.
just have another one in their hand. Does that enchantment you have, is that ability or spell or just spells?
Ability or spell.
Okay.
Yes, it is so powerful. Yep. Honestly, this card is the only reason we're in this game right now. And I can buy Yawgmoth back and play it in the same turn. This is...
Yeah, all their removal spells have been 1 for 1.
So we're going to play our untapped land. Tap it. Have you been keeping up with the spoilers?
I have been looking. I haven't looked in the last day or two, though.
So Phyrexian Tower just got spoiled.
Yeah, I'm excited for some timeless stuff.
Tidebinder? Oh my god, bro.
Rip.
Wow.
I think this opponent just perfectly made their deck to beat you.
So honestly, like, the fact that their removal doesn't exile is the only reason I would disagree with you.
That's true. Here comes Hive.
That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. What are my outs here? 4th Yawgmoth.
Your clock is down to like 7 minutes and 40 seconds too.
Oh shit, yeah. I'm not used to having to worry about the clock.
Yeah, it takes more time to talk it out and explain it too.
What is this card called? Reflection. Yeah, that's probably game.
We can blame this one on the overlay screwing you over there.
Yeah, it's not totally the overlay's fault. Totally not maybe they'll have it in here if I'm lucky. Reflection. Fae of Wish. Yeah, they have Fae of Wishes left over. That. Jesus. Wow, what a deck. And I'm back at 120. No.
That's where you started at, right?
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, since we started recording.
All right.
Win
you're
one, lose
back to
one.
even. I mean,
yeah.
You want to do one more? Try to finish it on a win?
Cannot end on a loss. Although typically, if I lose, I just stop.
Rage
Although
quit.
lately, I've just been stopping whether I win or lose. So.
I know. I feel like when I play like multiple games in a row, it's like the pressure just keeps building, and I just need to, just stop for a little bit and come back to it.
I recently got into Hunter x Hunter, and so just like watching a little 20-minute episode of anime and then coming back has just been a nice pattern. Okay, well, we got the overlay situation, so.
All right, on the play, feeling good.
On the play, we've got a decent hand. Curve. I like curves, curvy hands. Those
Definitely
are great.
a dub.
All right, opponent, what you doing? What you doing over there? Hello to you too. Oh, so this is either Devotion or the Mire. My bet is Devotion because of the forest.
Yep.
Oh.
Karn is banned, right? I think that's when I stopped playing
No,
Historic.
Karn is legal in this format, and he is
Ah.
such a pain in the.
Oh wait, this it's banned in. It's banned in Pioneer. What is it banned in?
Yep, it's banned in
Okay.
Pioneer. So I think I take Cure to slow them down. And this is a really solid payoff. Obviously, Storm is their card. This one is interesting, but I just Cure is such a good card because of its ability to draw more cards when they're playing big threats. And also letting them do nothing here means, oh baby, oh baby. Okay, so tap land, Hapatra, ding you for one. And this one works with, oh, that's not the card I thought it was. Oh, they just draw a Cure anyway. That's all right. Turn late. This actually would have been scarier because they could have -3 to kill. Well, no, they couldn't kill anything important. So, all right. So we can't attack Kiora this turn because we're going to chord for Yawgmoth. Yeah. So their only way to interact with a resolved Yawgmoth is Karn grabbing Needle. Or some of them will play the green charm that can fight.
All right. So that's pretty much like, what you wanted your deck to be doing right there is.
Yeah, that was perfect. 1, 2, 3, kill them on 4. Once we untap, we have the Blood Artist. They are dead. And yeah, it was Cutthroat, but it is the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
Because Karn, we always cut artifacts.
Pretty nice being on the play there too to get the first game against mono green.
This is typically a race anyway, so being on the play is great. Also, we interact with them; they don't interact with us typically.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, there are exceptions. And because they're not interacting with us, Rutstein doesn't do a whole lot. This kills planeswalkers. This stops planeswalkers. No, I don't want that back in.
Assuming you're just going to throw in all the Thoughtseize here too?
Yeah, 4 Thoughtseize. Again, this is part of the we interact with them, they don't interact with us. And this kills Karn as well. And that puts us at an even 60. You can tell I've played this matchup a lot because just instant in and out. We cut Innkeeper because it makes a treasure, and treasure gets shut down by Karn.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not really pressuring our life total. So the thing is, mono green can do their thing. They can put a ton of power and toughness on board, but we can kill them the same turn that we put all our stuff on the table. So we always have game. This hand is just too slow, doesn't do enough. This is decent.
Just need payoffs here.
Yeah, it just needs payoffs. I am keeping, I'm just trying to think. I kind of want Boseiju in my deck because it's our answer to Needle. And if I keep it in my hand over one of these lands, I might have to play it as a land. So that's why we'll put it back in. And we do shuffle enough that it is possible to redraw that. Uh-oh. This is one of their Busto starts. They could literally have 5 mana from Nykthos on.
Does putting back the Boseiju there make it a little awkward, like, because you can't play the Halfling on turn 1, or do you even care about that?
Yeah, that was a consideration, but yeah, look at this start.
Oh, wow, yeah. There's just have 5 mana.
I don't think it would have mattered what I was doing, honestly, because look, they get to untap and then make 6 mana,
Yeah, it's
And
disgusting.
they could storm the festival here, which is insane. Like, this should not be possible. Luckily, it's just a doofus that attacks, so, you know, not a big deal.
Except for 9 devotion here.
Okay, so we've got to think now. I could go Innkeeper into Halfling by playing the Pathway on black, and if I draw an untapped land, I get to play Yawgmoth. And alternatively, I can Chord next turn for Hapatra, and then the following turn play Yawgmoth, and that should be good enough. So I think that's the line I'll take. That is one of the things, is you have to think about like your future turns with this deck, as opposed to like mono green, where mono green is just like throw your hand on the table as fast as you can. You kind of want to sequence, especially when you have tap lands. It's like, okay, well, this land won't let me cast Yawgmoth next turn. But what is Yawgmoth doing for me next turn anyway? It's paying off a mana dork, and that's it. So, if possible, I can go Cutthroat into Hapatra and then drain them for as much as they have toughness. Okay, so they drew Storm because I think they would have played it if they had had it last turn. Again, this is just a nutso start. But again, we're not worried. Like, okay, they attack us with a 4/5 this turn. If we absolutely have to, we can chump block with a plant token the following turn. Just like, they're just not pressuring us enough.
I was like, that storm wasn't too bad, but then it's like,
And again, like, what do we care about 2 5/6s that don't have trample? Like, it's really not a big deal. Like, as long as we're above 2 life, we're fine. And you need to be at 2 or more, so that way when you pay your 1 life for Yawgmoth, you don't kill yourself. So Troll is a little annoying here, but again, not too worrisome. The biggest threat is Karn. Karn is always the card we worry the most about. Wow, we just find Hapatra. What does that mean for us? So because they have 20 toughness on the table, I think it's a better line to play out the Cutthroat, plan on blocking 2 things, Chording, and then untapping and Yawgmothing. And the thing about Hapatra is whenever you put a toughness on them, you make a snake, and so you can nuke their board with Hapatra alone. And so the only things we need to survive are Halfling, Cutthroat, and the Hapatra we're going to tutor for. So assuming they don't find Karn, we should be pretty set to win this game. Yeah, like we don't care about a ley line at this point.
I feel like they have quite a pretty big look here with the storm, though.
Yeah, no, they get a lot of looks.
Infinite mana. No.
Okay, we're dead. So Karn should get a Chroma's Memorial, and they have lethal in. They have exactly lethal in play. That's we can Chord for 1. So if they don't play another card, we can get them. If they're just like, ha ha ha, I have lethal here, we can Chord for Hapatra, which will put us to 1. Never mind. Never mind.
If they make a creature.
Yeah. We are just dead.
And they have the storm too, I guess. So.
This is typical mono green masturbators, where they're just like, oh, I've won the game, but look at me go. It's like, okay, I'm dead. I'm dead. I get it. Three. The fact that it gives it trample too is just so stupid.
Activate the Hydra for
20.
Yeah,
activate the Hydra too. Just like, oh, look at what I can do.
Well, they had a pretty explosive start there.
Yeah, that game was their nuttiest draw, and we still had a chance of winning.
Need that Thoughtseize in that opening hand.
Honestly, we just needed them to miss Karn. Like if they miss Karn, we win the game. And it's like when you play Phoenix and all 4 Phoenixes are in the bottom 20 cards of your deck. Like, it is possible.
Nice hand here.
So the only thing making me hesitate on this mulligan is this Peatland. But if I'm like drawing with Peatland, then I'm basically taking that turn off and slowing myself down. Oh no, I meant to mulligan. Oh no.
I was gonna say,
why didn't you stop me?
All right, you're just playing hard mode tonight.
Yeah.
Overlay, mulligan, keep.
It's because I'm not on the iPad. I pressed the iPad, the mulligan button with my finger, not like toggle over. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Chord of Calling is right on top. I can feel it.
Double Karn. Okay, no, just one Karn. How do I scroll the hand?
I don't think you can. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, so like we don't care about little shitters. Karn is the only card we actually care about. A-Haywire Mite. Takenuma. Jesus. It never ceases to fail. You keep 5 lands and somehow manage to draw more lands.
Well, at least they don't have a Nykthos.
Yeah.
Yet, but they're about to play a Cavern or not a Cavalier.
They can't. They don't have 5 mana.
You know they drew that extra mana. It's in their hand.
No, they actually didn't. Oh my god.
Is it worth here even using the Takenuma?
Yeah, I was about to say, the thing about Takenuma here is I use all my food tokens to Takenuma. So it's kind of like I'm setting myself back 2 mana. God. I mean, we just play the tap land and pass and then see what they do from here. I mean, I guess we can attack for 1 because we're not going to block with the Haywire Mite. Oh, wow. They don't have their 5th land? Okay. So because I can hit Yawgmoth and play my 4th land and get rid of their 2 mana dorks, I probably will Takenuma.
Big
Yawgmoth one time, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Yawgmoth.
It's going to be all lands.
I mean, Hapatra is not. Oh my god, bro. Bro. And we're at the point where we might need to chump block with something.
Well, here comes Cavalier.
Yeah.
Hit that Nykthos. Or a
No, they hit the
Storm.
land to storm the festival. To Nykthos plus Kiora. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And now if they attack, I can make a snake token. I'm going to go one more turn without blocking, because I get to make a food token here.
That's rough. It's really rough.
But luckily we've shut down their offense because they're not going to attack into a Death Touch snake. Yeah, that's it. That's what we got here. They are just going to draw Storm the Festival off the top, like the lucky people they are. That wasn't too terrible.
Yeah, no Karn yet, so there's one going to the graveyard.
Which means we can't block Cavalier with our Death Touch Snake because they can get it back. All right, let's make a food token. And let's sack a food token. But luckily, we can take 5 for the rest of the game because we have 2 gooses and 6 mana. So, like, it's not a big deal.
Hey.
All right.
You had to sit up in your chair to think about this one.
Well, the problem is we have to sack Hepatra to get our
It's 1+. Or is it 2+? 2+, right?
2+, yes. 6, 10. Is this a? Why isn't this a human? Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna play my fetch land just to thin out the deck a little bit. I am gonna leave up double black because there's a chance I want to proliferate. So we're immediately going to go after their mana dork. Because we can always blocks and then sack.
Good, right?
We're starting to get somewhere. Ugh. Okay, what do I do here? Blood Artist doesn't kill them. I think we chord for Hepatra. Because that draws us the most cards while putting more creatures on the table. So that way future Chord of Callings are still live. All right. And then go ahead and sack one of these geeses. Okay, and so this means we can
that's the loop, right?
kill as much creatures without we don't want to kill that. So but other than that, we can basically nuke their board. And there's not really a reason to get rid of Haywire Mite here. Okay, they just concede. Wow.
All right.
Which is not too unreasonable. Will it let me look at the battlefield? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't dead by any means, right?
They're not technically dead here, but I get to draw as many cards as they have toughness, which I could technically, in their mind, kill Cavalier. And so I get a lot of looks at another Chord of Calling, which, we've only seen one out of the 36 cards that are left in our deck.
So really, you get Chord, go get the Blood Artist, and drain.
So we either have another Yawgmoth, we either have Yawgmoth, which there's 4 of, we have 3 chords, or we have the 2 natural Blood Artists to just churn through our deck pretty insanely. And if we find any of those, they're dead. So it wasn't deterministic, but it was very likely.
Gotcha.
But that's just one of the examples of how mono green is such a good matchup, is because they cast Storm the Festival twice. We were flooded on lands, and then we just hit that one spell, and everything just came together.
Yeah, I feel like you weren't going to win that game at pretty much any point. Until
I was feeling pretty hopeless when I accidentally kept the hand and then drew 3 lands and was just like, okay, well, they hit their 5th mana source. Oh, they hit their 6th mana source. Now they're just doing their thing, and we're just drawing lands, and we just found one spell, and it all just came together.
Yeah,
so
pretty cool.
That is the power of Yawgmoth, and that's why he's so much more powerful than Amalia or other creature-based combo decks, is because he doesn't need to win the game on the spot, because he just accrues so much value.
I still don't think this is an easy deck to just pick up and play. There's a lot to think about with Chord and sequencing, and how you're playing your lands, and it's a lot to think about here. So I can definitely tell you've played this quite a bit.
I agree 110%. It is not a deck that a new player should just pick up and run into a tournament with. Definitely get your reps in, definitely learn your deck. And like I said at the beginning, if you have access to a overlay that can show you your deck list, or you can keep it on your phone on the side, that way you can keep track, because at the end of the day, you are a toolbox deck. You're not just looking at what's in your hand, you need to be looking at what's in your library. So it's very important to be able to know, either by heart or by phone or some such way, what's in your deck and what your outs are, what you're drawing to, more so than any other deck. A lot of decks are okay, well, what are my outs in XYZ situation, where this turn it's okay, I have access to every single creature in my deck. What is my play? What is the best one?
And even kind of just drawing cards to get to a Chord of Calling is something you don't really think about, because there's there's so many lines with this deck. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anytime your deck is a toolbox and you can pay for your spells with your creatures instead of with lands, things get really convoluted really quickly. So,
well, cool.
Well,
I appreciate
you having me on. We both say thank you at the same time, but I really mean it. Thank you. I really like talking about this deck. It's kind of been my baby since I got off Abzan. So it was really nice to showcase this for some people.
Yeah, appreciate it. We can definitely do it again. It was fun. It's fun to not be the one playing the games, and I can just relax and watch you
put all the stress on me. That's what you're saying?
Exactly. I was chilling. Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
GG's.